Welcome back everybody, I'm Jaran Gerber, your host, and today I'm going to react to a video called You Will Never Look at Thunderbirds the Same Way Again. Now for new updates and content you can visit the links in the description down below, and let's get started. Enjoy.
International rescue from Thunderbird 1. Changing to horizontal flight.
But that's suicide. He wouldn't stand a chance.
There is a chance, Fireflash.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You remember that countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thunderbirds are go. That music hits, and suddenly you're 7 years old again, sitting way too close to the television. But here's something you probably don't know. This show was so expensive, it nearly bankrupted its studio before episode 1 even aired. What you're about to discover are 10 mind-blowing secrets about the Tracy family, their incredible machines, and the real-world disasters that inspired it all. From puppets modeled after James Bond himself, to catchphrases stolen straight from 60s slang, these facts will change how you remember International Rescue forever.
Mr. Tracy, you are the finest man I have ever had the privilege to work for.
Number 10. A mining disaster built this entire world. Here's some irony for you. The most optimistic rescue show of the 60s was born from absolute tragedy. In 1963, a West German coal mine collapsed in Lengede, trapping miners deep underground. The world watched in horror as rescue crews struggled for days, hindered by one devastating problem. Heavy equipment simply couldn't get there fast enough. The technology existed to save those men, but logistics kept it hours away, while the clock kept ticking. Jerry Anderson watched those news reports, and something clicked. What if there was an organization with supersonic aircraft that could transport rescue equipment anywhere on Earth within hours? What if technology could outrun disaster? That single what if became International Rescue, Tracy Island, and every Thunderbird machine you ever loved. The show's entire DNA traces back to real miners fighting for survival in the dark. Pretty heavy stuff for a puppet show, right?
International Rescue. If only I knew the secret.
Number 9. The pilot episode changed everything overnight. Imagine finishing 9 episodes of your television series, feeling good about the work, then your boss walks in and flips the table. When financier Lou Grade first watched the 25-minute pilot Trapped in the Sky, he literally jumped out of his chair shouting, "Fantastic!" But then came the kicker. He declared it wasn't a TV episode at all. It was a feature film. Grade demanded every episode be doubled to 50 minutes immediately. No debate, no discussion, just do it. This wasn't a gentle suggestion. Anderson later admitted it was a very, very difficult job, requiring extensive rewrites and complete re-editing of everything already filmed. 9 episodes had to be pulled apart and rebuilt from the ground up. The budget exploded, making Thunderbirds one of the most expensive television productions of its entire era. Grade's spontaneous enthusiasm nearly broke the production, but that chaos, that impossible scramble, created the epic scope we remember.
The only chance that now exists is that the bomb may fail to explode.
Aircraft approaching from the east.
Number 8. Those Tracy boys were named after real space heroes. Scott, John, Virgil, Gordon, and Alan weren't just cool-sounding names pulled from thin air. They were tributes to genuine American legends walking the Earth at that very moment. Each Tracy brother was deliberately named after one of the Mercury 7 astronauts, the pioneering pilots who first carried America into space. Scott Carpenter, John Glenn, Virgil Gus Grissom, Gordon Cooper, Alan Shepard. These men were front-page heroes when Thunderbirds entered production, household names who risked everything to push humanity beyond the atmosphere, and Jerry Anderson wanted that heroic DNA woven into his characters. Think about it. Kids watching in 1965 saw the Tracy brothers saving lives in fictional 2065, named after real astronauts making history right outside their windows. The future and present were shaking hands across a century. For boys dreaming of space, those names meant something powerful. They connected fiction to a reality that was already extraordinary.
Fantastic! That's just about the most fantastic scheme I've heard to date.
Number 7. The puppets had Hollywood faces and Hollywood price tags. Want to know why Scott Tracy looked so impossibly cool? Blame James Bond. The production team deliberately modeled their super marionation puppets after real celebrities to give them instant screen presence. They wanted faces audiences would trust instinctively. Scott Tracy's chiseled features came from Sean Connery himself. Alan Tracy borrowed the look of Robert Reed, and Brains, that lovably nervous genius, was sculpted after Anthony Perkins, fresh off his terrifying turn in Psycho. Quite the leap from a murderous motel owner to a stuttering engineer, but somehow it worked perfectly. Here's where it gets wild. Each main puppet cost between £250 and £300 in 1960s money. Adjusted for inflation, that's roughly £6,400 to £7,700 per puppet today. The 13 main cast members represented a small fortune, hanging from wires. These weren't toys. They were investments with celebrity cheekbones.
What's the action?
Stand by on this frequency.
A fireflash standing by.
Number 6. Lady Penelope was never supposed to steal the show. Sometimes supporting characters refused to stay in the background. Lady Penelope absolutely refused. She was originally conceived as comic relief, a charming aristocrat with a pink Rolls Royce and a Cockney butler named Parker. Secondary role, light moments, nothing more. A bit of sparkle between the heavy rescue sequences. But audiences fell completely in love with her elegance, her wit, and that magnificent FAB. She had a magnetism the writers hadn't anticipated, and before long, she was commanding more screen time than anyone planned. Here's the secret twist. The lead puppet sculptor quietly modeled Lady Penelope's face after voice actress Sylvia Anderson, who also happened to be the series co-creator and Jerry Anderson's wife.
Oh, come
Sylvia
on.
didn't even know her own face was staring back from the screen until later. A background character with the creator's actual face
That's
became the
awesome.
show's unexpected icon. Television works in mysterious ways.
Mr. Tracy, just a dizzy spell.
Well, you watch it.
Number 5. Thunderbird 2's iconic design was pure rebellion. Every aircraft in the 60s had swept back wings, every single one. It was the look. It was the future. Derek Meddings looked at that trend and said, absolutely not. The legendary special effects director had a problem with Thunderbird 2's original prototype. Something felt wrong, too ordinary, too forgettable. It looked like everything else in the sky. So Meddings made a decision that defied all conventional aircraft design. He flipped the wings forward, not because of aerodynamics, not because of engineering principles, not because anyone asked him to. In his own words, at the time, all aircraft had swept-back wings. I only did it to be different. That stubborn creative rebellion produced one of the most distinctive vehicles in science fiction history. Thunderbird 2 looked like nothing else on Earth because its designer simply refused to follow the crowd. He trusted his instinct over convention. Sometimes breaking rules creates legends.
International rescue from Thunderbird 1. Changing to horizontal flight.
Number 4. Flying those models could actually hurt you. Those gorgeous miniature Thunderbirds soaring across your screen. They were genuine workplace hazards. The rocket effects came from ignited gunpowder canisters, fired electrically, while crew members on overhead platforms manually flew the models across elaborate sets. Conditions up there were brutal, hot, smoky, and genuinely dangerous.
I can imagine.
The air was thick with fumes, visibility was limited, and the margin for error was razor thin. Wires frequently overheated. Weak connections snapped without warning. Falling models damaged sets that had taken days to build. Sometimes sparks ignited scenery, sending crews scrambling. Derek Meddings himself remembered Thunderbird 2 as being awful to fly, the most unwieldy model in the entire fleet. That hulking green beauty that looked so graceful on screen was apparently a nightmare behind the scenes, fighting the crew at every turn. Every smooth rescue sequence represented someone sweating through smoke and praying the wires held.
But that's suicide. He wouldn't stand a chance.
There is a chance, Fireflash.
Number 3. The Hood defied Cold War villain cliches. In 1965, every villain on television seemed to be Russian. It was the easiest shorthand in the business. Jerry Anderson deliberately zigged when everyone else zagged. The mysterious Hood, with his hypnotic eyes and shadowy schemes, was intentionally designed as Asian, operating from a temple hideout in Malaysia. Anderson made this choice specifically because he didn't want to perpetuate the idea that Russia was the enemy with a whole generation of children watching. During the absolute height of Cold War paranoia, when duck and cover drills were still fresh in memory, that was a bold creative stance. Most producers played it safe with obvious Soviet antagonists, because that's what audiences expected, and networks approved. Anderson wanted something different, something that wouldn't feed into the political fears dominating adult conversations and seeping down to their children. The Hood became memorable, partly because he wasn't the villain audiences expected. He was stranger, more mysterious, more unsettling, precisely because he didn't fit the mold.
1,000,000 to 1 chance is better than no chance at all.
Number 2. FAB was 60s slang hiding in plain sight. You probably said FAB as a kid, without knowing its groovy secret origin. International rescue members used FAB to acknowledge orders throughout the series, spoken as an initialism, FAB. It sounded wonderfully futuristic, like classified military jargon from the year 2065. Kids assumed it meant something technical and important. Some of us spent hours debating what those letters actually stood for. Fully authorized broadcast, Federal Agents Bureau, the truth? It was simply a shortening of fabulous, one of the most popular buzzwords of the swinging 60s. The writers took contemporary slang and dressed it up in futuristic clothing. What felt like advanced communication protocol was actually just hip lingo from Carnaby Street, given a fresh coat of science fiction paint. Every time a Tracy brother said FAB, he was basically saying groovy with extra steps.
Car registration 695 CMO. Over.
Mobile control, FAB.
Number 1. The Thunderbirds' walk escaped into reality. Here's where puppet limitations accidentally created performance art. The super marionation technique had one unavoidable characteristic. Puppets moved with a distinctive, stiff staccato quality because of their control wires. No amount of engineering could completely eliminate it. The Tracy brothers didn't walk like humans, they walked like marionettes, because that's exactly what they were. But that limitation became iconic. Audiences didn't just accept the movement, they embraced it. The Thunderbirds' walk grew so recognizable that a mime theater show called Thunderbirds FAB actually toured internationally, with human performers recreating that jerky movement style on stage. People paid money to watch actors move like puppets, who were pretending to be people. Let that sink in for a moment. A technical constraint became a beloved theatrical tradition.
That's
The
fantastic.
show's influence literally walked off the screen and into live performance venues worldwide.
Thunderbird 1, FAB.
Fireflash, this is International Rescue Mobile Control.
Bonus fact, a real rescue service took their name. This one proves fiction can genuinely change the world. And honestly, it might be my favorite fact on this entire list. After the devastating 1980 Irpinia earthquake in Italy, a group of British firemen who participated in relief efforts decided to form something permanent. They'd seen the chaos of disaster response firsthand, the gaps in coordination, the desperate need for specialized teams. They created a volunteer search and rescue organization dedicated to responding to disasters globally, and they named it the International Rescue Corps, directly after the fictional International Rescue, on purpose, with pride. These weren't children playing pretend. They were professional rescue workers who saw Jerry Anderson's vision and thought, that should exist for real. The show about saving lives inspired people to actually save lives. How many television programs can claim that legacy? Thunderbirds didn't just entertain a generation, it inspired real heroes to answer real emergencies using the same name. There you have it. 10 incredible facts about the show that defined futuristic heroism for an entire generation. From mining disasters, inspiring supersonic rescue dreams, to puppets with movie star faces. From rebellious wing designs to real-world rescue organizations carrying the Thunderbirds name forward. This series was so much more than children's programming. It was ambitious, expensive, occasionally dangerous, and absolutely groundbreaking in ways that still surprise people 6 decades later. Jerry Anderson built a world where technology served humanity, where brothers worked together, and where no disaster was too big to tackle. That optimism still resonates 60 years later. In a world that sometimes feels like it's running short on hope, the Tracy brothers remind us what heroes are supposed to look like. Until next time, remember, when the countdown hits 0 and those rockets ignite, somewhere out there, International Rescue is always standing by. Thunderbirds are go, FAB.
Mobile control, FAB.
So that was You Will Never Look at Thunderbirds the Same Way Again. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I cannot believe this show was created because of a mine that collapsed in Germany. Seriously, things happen in the strangest ways. I mean, look at myself. I wrote a book and I contacted this person and I thought that he participated in the rugby that I wrote about. And he never did, but today we are such good friends. As I said, things happen in the strangest ways. I mean, look at the likeness of the puppets that they created. James Bond, Anthony Perkins, the astronauts, Lady Penelope after Sylvia Anderson, the co-creator of the show. Come on, man. Seriously. This is fantastic. And unfortunately, we learned that the ship also gave some problems. And I love the fact that the wings were backwards. Oh, man. Seriously. I love the show. I love every episode of it. And I also love the fact that after that earthquake in Italy, they named their organization the International Rescue Corps for inspiration from Thunderbirds. Seriously, these are incredible facts. Now I want to watch Thunderbirds again. And that acronym FAB, which stands for fabulous. Seriously, these are incredible facts. And hands off, I salute you for creating this show, sir. I absolutely appreciate what you and your team did to bring this show to light. And a word of wisdom for today. FAB. Have a blessed day further, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.